Whether it's Boomer Sooner or pistols firing, you're listening to the College Wrap-Up Show with yours truly, Coach K, on QITC Studio Sports. Afternoon, everybody. DJ Ray McKay broadcasting live here from Pizza Hut, 1201 East Broadway, right here in the heart of your city, Altus, for the IGTS LLC College Wrap-Up Show. And we're going to talk football. We're going to talk Oklahoma State Cowboy football and your number 6 Oklahoma Sooners, both victorious this weekend. And I made some observations that were pretty significant and some observations that make me want to say, what's going on with the team? Is there concerns? Are there kinks in the armor, so to speak? Or are both schools destined to be in the Big 12 championship later on this year. That is still up for debate. But what is known is that IGTS LLC at 118 South Main Street near the heart of downtown Altus is your go-to IT guys, whether it be a tablet, whether it be a Mac, whether it be a PC, it doesn't matter. A guy and his talented staff will make sure that your computer is working right the first time, every time. Give them a call, 580-480-1700. That's 580-480-1700. They've been in the business a very long time here in Altus, and they do residential computer work as well as for your business. So, big or small, give them a call. Your go-to IT guys, IGTS LLC, 118 South Main Street in the heart of Altus. They will make sure that you're back up to optimal capacity on your computing system. And I also like to give a big shout out to my friends here at Pizza Hut, 1201 East Broadway, right here in Altus. And let me tell you a couple of things about Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is celebrating 60 years of excellence in pizza service in the whole 9 yards. And when I say the whole 9 yards, I'm telling you, Wing Street has been going long and strong for 15 years, providing great wings and also pasta options, salads, you name it. It's right here inside the Pizza Hut, because you can't have pizza during football game. You gotta have it. You gotta have pizza during the football games, because no one out pizzas the Hut, and you can't have football without Hut. Well, now we're going to jump right to the nuts and bolts of the situation. We got your Oklahoma Sooners and your Oklahoma State Cowboys, and they were both victorious this weekend in their pursuits of Big 12 supremacy here this weekend. But a couple of things that you need to know, have the polls moved any? I'm curious to know if the polls have moved just an inch for both schools' favor, because there was a debate as to why, Oklahoma State last week didn't move and why the Sooners didn't go up a little higher. So this week, we're taking a quick little gander. Let's take it here. Let's refresh the screen to make sure that these are accurate standings, because we don't want inaccuracy. No, not in football. Currently, right now, it looks like OU is number 1 in the Big 12. And Oklahoma State's number 2. TCU's number 3. West Virginia's number 4. So you got 4 teams right there. 2-0 already on the season. And then you got Kansas, 1 win, 1 loss. Kansas State took a loss. Texas picked up a win last night, and also Texas Tech are all 1-1. Iowa State is the only team right now that has a 0-1 record in their column. So hopefully by the time the coaches poll come out later on this afternoon, we can talk about how your Sooners and Cowboys moved up the ranks. But let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. Your Oklahoma Sooners dominated, and when I say dominated, they dominated yesterday. Now, here's my problem with what occurred yesterday. I was concerned that they were thinking that Chip Kelly and the Bruins were not prepared for the Sooners' football attack. And they quickly realized after that touchdown that was made very, very quickly by the Bruins that they could not take the Bruins very lightly. They could not think that they were an inferior team. But once the Sooner Magic got turned on in the stadium of Gaylord Memorial Stadium in Norman, they had a dandy. And when I say they had a dandy, the scoring just started and it never stopped. But good to mention that Russell Westbrook was at the game. You know, he was a former UCLA Bruin, but it was fun to also see Trae Young in the stands as well, wearing Baker Mayfield jersey for the Cleveland Browns. I thought that was pretty cool to see those guys attending that game. But the inning total, 53-21. Your Oklahoma Sooners, 49-21. Excuse me. I was referring to last week, or at some junction when they had 53 points on the board in the win column. But your Sooners moved up a peg to number 5 against the Bruins, 49-21. Not Trae Young, I just mentioned him, but your man with a plan, Mr. Kyler Murray, throwing footballs like baseballs. Literally, throwing footballs like baseballs. And he does it like no other. His spiral is so knit together. It reminds me a lot of like Tom Brady spirals, because Tom Brady throws bullets. Kyler Murray throws bullets. And your number 2, Mr. Lamb, took over duties and made a good run after it. After Mr. Anderson, your number 24 running back, he had sustained a little bit of an injury, but they didn't want to chance him injuring himself further, so they allowed him to take a seat and watch the game. But there's the cool thing about the Sooners, the next man is always ready to rise to the occasion. Victorious, winning the column, 2-0, your Oklahoma Sooners, number 5 Oklahoma Sooners. Now we're going to turn our attentions to the Oklahoma State Cowboys, who had a little primetime action also on Fox. Looking at your Oklahoma State Cowboy roster, let me just say that they've improved to 20-4 in the last 24 games, and 34-9 in its last 43 games. Now that is some impressive stats for your Cowboys. They've improved 2-0 all time for South Alabama. I'm so proud that they got a win against the boys from South Alabama. They came to town wanting a big win, and it just seems like things fell apart for the guys. But one thing that I have to stand corrected on, it must have been first game jitters, but let me tell you, you're Mr. Cornelius. Taylor Cornelius made career high nights last night. 428 passing yards, 25 out of 40 attempts, and his second straight 300-yard passing game. Now, Mr. Cornelius has arrived at Oklahoma State. They take on the Boise State Broncos next Saturday at Boone Pickens Stadium, and we'll all be able to see this game because it'll be at 2:30 on ESPN, and you can also watch it on ESPN Go. Get that app on your mobile devices. Do not miss your Oklahoma State Cowboys as they play next week against the number 17 Boise State Broncos. That, to me, is going to be a good, true test of wit for your Cowboys.
For the fans, by the fans, QITC Studio Sports.
Now, some keys to the next week's games for Oklahoma State and your Oklahoma Sooners. First and foremost, we're going to talk about your Sooners just for a moment. They take on Iowa State, and they travel to Iowa State, and it is an early game. A couple things about Iowa State. At home, they are very hard to beat in Ames. So the A game of your Sooners have to be prominent at all times. They cannot go into Ames, Iowa, thinking for 1 millisecond that this is going to be an easy contest, even though they are 0-1. People have a lot to prove when their backs are against the wall. So it is my absolute encouragement to Coach Riley and the boys to get into Ames, draw first blood, and just keep on pounding on the points until the clock reads 0-0-0. Now, as for your Oklahoma State Cowboys, the number 17 Boise State Broncos come to town. And the one thing about the Boise State Broncos, you can never underestimate them, no matter if they're ranked or unranked. Consistency needs to be paramount with your Oklahoma State Cowboys, because at times they're consistent, and then at times they make mistakes that hurt them in the long run, and it doesn't need to be that way. So, with that being said, it is my hope that next week we have another win in both columns for both schools, and then they go to 3-0. But it's all up to playing, and I've always said, 4 full quarters of football. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, IGTS LLC, 118 South Main Street in Altus, in the heart of the downtown Altus Square region. They are your go-to computer guys. Give Guy a call. He can make sure your computer's working right the first time, no matter how big or small the job is. They get it done right the first time. They are your go-to computer guys. Give them a call, 580-480-1700. The number again is 580-480-1700. And I'd like to give another big shout out to my friends and partners in Pizza Excellence, Pizza Hut on Broadway, 1201 East Broadway, Altus, Oklahoma. Pizza Hut celebrating 60 years of pizza excellence. And when I say excellence, let me just give you a little tidbit of what Pizza Hut has done and what company was the first to do it. Pizza Hut was the first company to allow you to make an online pizza order purchase back in 1994. Making headway, making trends for 60 years. Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut, and you cannot have football without Hut. Proud partner of the NCAA, partners of the NFL, the official pizza of the NFL. And as I'm looking at the New England Patriots taking on the Houston Texans right now, your New England Patriots are 27 and the Texans are 13, and it looks like it's about 5 minutes left in the game, but there's still time, so hopefully the Patriots add on another W in their column. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing the same time, same place next week.